Welcome to the November 24th, 2020, 6:15 p.m. open session meeting of the Ayer Planning Board. Before we get into the agenda, I'd like to read the message from the governor. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, Governor Baker issued an emergency order temporarily suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. Public bodies otherwise governed by the open meeting law are temporarily relieved from the requirement that meetings be held in public places, open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberations through adequate alternative means. This meeting will be broadcast live on Channel 8 and on Zoom. The public may participate remotely by following the call-in information on the bottom of the live broadcast screen. For the Zoom meeting information relating to remote participation, please contact Cindy Knox, IT Director, at cknox@ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8252 prior to the meeting. And good evening all, we have a quorum. I would like to, first order of business, approve the agenda. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the agenda for the November 24th meeting of the Ayer Planning Board.
Thank you. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Krantz made the motion.
Aye.
Mr. King seconded the motion. I got to go through this so we get a recording of it, Jonathan. Thank you. And Mr. King seconded the motion. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, and we're going to go in order on the screen like usual. Mr. Diskin.
Aye.
Mr. Krantz.
Aye.
Mr. King.
Aye.
Ms. Murray.
Aye.
And chair votes aye. So, next on the agenda is a covenant or bond release. We don't have any this evening. Next is the continued public hearing for the special permit for 14 Washington Street. Is there anybody on board from this project? Mr. Burchard.
Yes, sir.
Are you the guy?
I'm the guy tonight. Yes.
Okay. I'd like a motion to open. Do we have information to do anything?
No, we do not.
Okay. Should we ask Mr. Krantz to continue to the next meeting? Will you be ready for the next meeting on December, I believe, 8th?
Yes, please, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Krantz.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we continue the public hearing for the special permit for 14 Washington Street till our next scheduled meeting on December 8th.
Thank you. May I have a second, please?
Seconded.
Thank you. Mr. Krantz made the motion. Ms. Murray seconded. Any further discussion? Okay. Y'all moved on my screen. Mr. Diskin, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Murray, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. King, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Krantz?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Next on the agenda is the continued site plan review for 14 Washington Street. Mr. Krantz,
Yes.
will you please do the honors?
I'd like to make a motion that we continue the site plan review for 14 Washington Street until the next meeting of the Ayer Planning Board on December 8th, 2020.
Thank you. May I have a second, please?
Seconded.
Ms. Murray seconded the motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Diskin, how do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you. Ms. Murray?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Mr. Krantz?
Aye.
And chair votes aye also. Okay. Next on our agenda is the continued review for the amended site plan for Ayer Solar 2B. I believe we have proponents in the meeting. Thank you for the
I have to recuse, Mr. Chairman.
thank you, Mr. Diskin. I was going to say, for the viewing public, Mr. Diskin needs to recuse himself from the meeting. Cindy, are you there?
I am here and I will put him in the waiting room.
Thank you very much. And we'll see you soon, Mr. Diskin.
Bring me back.
Thank you.
I believe Mr. Burchard and Mr. Costa are here on behalf of the proponent.
We are, Mr. Chairman.
And I believe Mr. Rohit is here. Rohit is here too?
Yes.
Thank you. Rohit, I'm sorry if I don't. How do you pronounce your last name?
Garg.
Thank you. I wasn't sure if I was looking at a portion of your name or your full name on the screen. Good evening, sir. It's been a while since we've
It's
seen
been
you.
a while.
It has been a while. Okay. Mr. Archambault, would you like to start us off, please?
Yes, I believe the planning board is ready to act on this plan this evening. And you should have received my staff report last week.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. We didn't open the continued review. I apologize, guys. Saying hi to people and I wanted to move right into it. May I have a motion, please, to open the review? From a board member?
Jonathan, you're muted.
Oh, so moved. I'm sorry. I was on mute. So moved.
Thank you,
I make-
Mr.
I
Cranston.
move- yep.
Go ahead. Yep. Moves to continue the review of the minute site plan. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Mr. King seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Murray, how do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. King.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Krantz.
Aye.
And Mr. Tillotson votes, chair votes aye. Go ahead, Mark. Thank you.
Yes, I believe the planning board is ready to act on this amended or modified site plan. As you recall, the original Air Solar 2 was approved in November 2017, and they came before us with a modified site plan, and which went through extensive review with the Conservation Commission over the last several months. And I want to thank the Conservation Commission for doing the lion's share of review for the new stormwater systems and the key items that have been changed from the first set of plans to the new revised Air Solar 2B. So in my staff report, excuse me, I prepared findings and also a list of special conditions. The findings are mostly reflective of a list of plan changes, the key plan changes from the 2017 plan set to the plan set before us this evening, which was amended on October 19th, 2020. So items 1 through 5 reflect the changes to the site plan. And the special conditions are essentially the same as for November 9th, 2017, when the planning board originally approved Air Solar 2, with very minor amendments to those to reflect changed circumstances. We already have a covenant in place, so special condition number 5 refers to a performance guarantee, which has been satisfied through the covenant, though I kept that language in there since the applicant does have the ability to alter the form of the performance guarantee with planning board approval, so I felt it best to leave that language in there. So it's fairly straightforward and simple. If you'd like, I could read any or all of part of the findings to get us started. In my opinion, the planning board is ready to act on this, and as we learned, the planning board's purview under a site plan modification is much more restricted than, say, a full-blown new site plan. So that is reflected in the recommendation that I wrote up in the staff report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Archambault. May I ask, have you shared this staff report with the proponent?
Yes, I have.
Okay, and I would ask that the proponent, I would ask to, there are some differences that Mr. Archambault has highlighted in the document. I'd like to just want to make sure we touch on those and we're all on the same page, if it's okay. And if it's okay with everybody, this is part of the record. I think we can probably waive the reading of the entire document. Thank you. Then I'm going to jump to the middle of page 2 under special conditions. And the first condition, some language has been added to the end of it, and I might as well read the whole sentence if you don't mind. The landowner applicant shall demarcate the line of trees to be retained between the access road to the solar arrays and the residential properties on Madigan Lane and Washington Street per the plans. prior to the start of tree removal. Prior to the start of tree removal. Such delineation may be done with tree paint, blazes, in parentheses, tree ribbons, or by other means acceptable to the Ayer town planner, comma, in consultation with the conservation administrator. That has been added to that paragraph. Is that acceptable to everybody at the table? Mr. Krantz?
I just want to double check. Is that entirely lawful? Can we actually have a special condition that references a different body in Ayer? Is that okay?
That's a good question, Mr. Krantz. Mr. Archambault, please.
Well, yeah, I believe it is because we refer to the Department of Public Works many times in our conditions. And the reason I added that clause at the end is because the Conservation Administrator was heavily involved in the review of the tree line and also the tree stumping, or the cutting off of the trees below the top. And because she was so involved in this, I felt that it would be good to have her accompany me on any site visits that were related to this condition. But yeah, I don't see, we all the time we call in Board of Health, DPW as applicable.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm actually happy to see that there, given that in Ayer Solar, we did have a situation where some trees were mistakenly taken down. And I think it's a good belt and suspenders approach to making sure we don't revisit that, that issue that we've had in the past. And that is acceptable to the proponent?
It is.
Thank you. Jumping forward to number 7. I believe the change there is at the end of the first sentence, where it says, it shall be the responsibility of the landowner applicant to install and maintain all stormwater management systems shown in the plans dated October 19th, 2020, which is just a reference to the latest set of plans that have been submitted for the project.
And that date is accurate, and that's the right date? I just want to double check if that's the right date. Okay,
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, it is the correct date.
Okay.
Excuse me, I'm looking at my copy of the most recent set of plans. Yes, it is the correct date. Okay. Mark, did you want to talk about conditions 9 or 10, or are there any questions from the proponent about 9 and 10?
Yeah, 9 and 10 you might consider somewhat redundant, since number 9 appeared in the DPW's letter to us, which I reference. Right, I referenced in 8, I believe. No, not 8. It was referenced in somewhere. Oh yeah, it's referenced in the findings that the DPW's letters concerning the project are part of the approval. I just wanted to reiterate that, since Mr. Wetzel, Superintendent Wetzel, emphasized that. And number 10 is, I guess there was a little bit of a misrepresentation as to which plan sheet described the construction entrance. And it's actually sheet C3.2. That's something that Dan Van Schalkwyk at DPW caught. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay.
So they're very minor. You might consider those somewhat redundant, since they're mentioned elsewhere. But sometimes I believe that redundancy is not a bad thing when it comes to conditions.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Krantz, do you have a point?
Thank you, Chair. I just want to point out that under finding number 5, it says submittal note should refer to sheet C4.2, which describes the specifications for the driveway entrance at Washington Street. Is that correct, or should that also be corrected to be C3.2?
Yeah, let's see. I would ask Kyle if he recalls which one it is. I can look real quick on the plan sheet itself. I believe it might be C4 too.
So, Mr. Chair, if I may,
Please, Colin.
So there's information about the entrance on both C3.2 and C4.2. It might be just appropriate to say what's shown on the plans.
As we know, sometimes they get so detailed, you got to find space to put them.
That's
In the
right.
comments. We got Mark going away. Was Mr. King? Did you have a question? Do your finger up.
I actually do. While we're thinking about that, the findings, my understanding is the reason for the first after the first finding, there are 5 sub-bullets. Those first 4, correct me if I'm wrong, but they're all because the road moved. And I think it would be clear to say that the road moved, maybe describe how the road moved if you want. But, it would give context to why there's, 3 points about a culvert being changed and a wall system being modified.
I think I understand what you're saying, Mr. King, and really what it comes down to is referring to it as a road, as a driveway. It doesn't currently exist. So what happens is this is what the latest accepted set of plans delineates as where the driveway will be built. So I don't know that saying it moved from here to here makes any sense. If you get my drift.
Yeah, maybe not explaining, what, but I think that, the reason that we're looking at 2 changes, right? The tree toppings and the movement of a road. And I think for clarity, if we said the road moved and therefore there's this culvert activity,
Okay.
that it might just, remind us or the next board what was there, why those first 4 bullets are there.
Thank you. I'm trying to figure out how to add it. Again, I'm struggling with. It's a Hey, Mark.
Yes.
Were you able to find the 4.2 reference and the 3.2 reference?
Yes, it looks like 4.2 has well, they both actually talk about, 4.2 has more details about the road entrance, so I believe 4.2 is correct. However, I think a way to, just in case we're not thinking straight right now, number 10 of the special conditions, I would reword it to say the construction entrance narrative and traffic maintenance plan as described in the October 19th, 2020 plan set are hereby incorporated as a condition of approval. So that way we're not referring to a sheet. And we could also do that for the finding that talks about C4.2. No, C4.2 is correct as far as the details. So we can keep finding number 5, and that would be correct.
Thank you. So I am open to adjusting the language of the construction of number 10 to read the construction interest narrative and traffic and maintenance plan as described in the October 19th, 2020 plan set are hereby incorporated as a condition of approval. Is that acceptable to the proponent?
Mr. Chairman, I think it is, but I do have a point of order or a request maybe for clarification. So I received 2 documents over the course of the past 3 or 4 days. The first document was a memo that was prepared by Mr. Archibald to the board that was comprised of what I anticipated would be the substance of a decision. And I reviewed that and it was generally acceptable. And then I requested that I just also see a copy of the decision so that I'd be prepared to respond to any comments or questions that might arise tonight. And I received earlier today, and I appreciate it, from Mr. Archibald, a draft notice of decision, he called it, that more or less mimics what issued back in 2017, with the exception of those changes that you just recited. I don't see any findings in the actual decision itself. Are we referring to the memo when we're talking about findings of fact?
Mr. Costa, your audio is breaking up a little bit. Could you repeat that last sentence?
I sure can. So my only question was, I don't see any findings of fact in the notice of decision that I received today. So I'm just wondering if we're referring to the memo and if that is going to then be incorporated into the decision that I received today.
Yeah, and the reason for that is, and I have to have Heather amend this, back in 2017 and back in the early days, we didn't put findings within the notice of decisions. We just put the general and special conditions, but we should add the findings, you're correct. And I believe, Mr. Costa, I did send you the staff report which listed the findings. If I didn't, I apologize. I know I did send it to GPR. So the findings 1 through 5 were sent, and they're just, just that, findings. I could read all the findings for your information if you'd like, so that way.
No, through you, Mr. Chair, Mr. Archibald, those that memo was sent to my client and he forwarded it along to me, so I reviewed those. I have no objection to them. I just want to be certain that I understand what it is that'll be ultimately provided in final form as a decision. I have no objection to those findings 1 through 5. I reviewed them in the staff memo.
Thank you. And would it be acceptable to you that we change the language in number 10 to read maintenance plan as described in the October 19th plan set hereby incorporated as a condition of approval, and remove that C.3.2?
I believe that's acceptable, but I'm going to defer to Kyle on that one since he knows the plan set and the specific sheet numbers better than I do. Is that acceptable, Kyle?
Unmute, please.
Sorry, could you just repeat what the notion is? Is this just in the findings as to whether it's C3.2 or C4.2?
In the findings, I do have, hopefully you may have,
I do.
number 10 on the final page of the findings. The sentence reads, the construction entrance narrative and traffic maintenance plan as described. Originally it said, as described on plan sheet C3.2.
Yes, and so that is on C3.2.
Yes.
I think that the DPW letter addressed that there were also some details regarding the physical dimensions of the entrance also shown on C4.2.
Okay.
But, the construction entrance narrative is on C3.2.
Okay. So actually I appreciate your question, Mr. Krantz, but I have a feeling both citations are correct. To the best of our abilities. This is difficult to do when we aren't sitting around a table looking at a plan set. And I apologize to the general public if you're watching this tonight, but this can be very, very difficult to do when we're working on a working document like this. But thank you.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, just a quick
Please.
point. The only reason I brought it up was not to be pedantic, is that we've recently had experiences where imprecision on particular documents has led to a great deal of difficulty. So if I'm overly scrupulous about precision, it's just to prevent unnecessary complications down the road. That's it.
I appreciate your concern, and I don't think anybody at the table is thinking we're wasting our time. All for that reason. If we can get it done, let's get it done. Okay. Thank you. Do we have any input from any board members about what we're discussing?
I think also, Mr. Chair, just for clarity, 9 and 10 are new. They are not in the original decision. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. That's why they're below the line.
It's my understanding, and I hope that the proponent agrees, that number 9 says the developer shall pay the Ayer Department of Public Works construction inspection fees for road, water, and sewer construction. And that is a normal course of affairs in a project. We just wanted to have it. It if it's okay, we just want to put it in the document and make sure it's there. I guess I see shaking heads all around, so I think everyone's in agreement on that too. Okay. Mark, what do you recommend to be the next step for us?
Okay, well, if we can agree on the final amendments to the findings and special conditions, then I believe a motion would be in order. Also, we will amend the notice of decision to include not only the general conditions which go for every project, like sweeping after the end of the construction day, no construction on Sundays, that sort of thing. We'll have that, the special conditions, and we'll insert the findings in there too.
Okay.
So the motion that I had prepared, assuming that everything is satisfactory with the findings and the special conditions, the motion I prepared states somebody would need to make a motion to approve the site plan modification for Ayer Solar 2B with the findings and conditions read into the record at the November 24th, 2020 Ayer Planning Board meeting. That way we don't have to read everything.
Okay.
Okay, I can do that.
Thank you,
Well,
Mr.
if
Prince.
we're ready to do that.
Do we have any
Oh,
further?
I'm sorry, only if we're ready. I'm sorry, I apologize. I didn't realize.
I believe we're ready to go. Any further discussion
Okay,
from the board? Let's make the motion. We'll pick it up then.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion that we accept the site plan modification for Ayer Solar 2B as with the findings and conditions as articulated in the November 19th staff report, number 3, prepared by Town Planner Mark Archambault for the November 24th, 2020 Ayer Planning Board meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Krantz. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. King, for seconding the motion. Do we have any further discussion from the board members? Hearing none. We're going to, once again, go by the boxes on the screen, and they have changed again. Mr. King, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Krantz, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Murray, how do you vote?
Aye.
The chair votes aye. I never thought I'd see it. This closes it, correct, Mark? Mark, just checking. This closes. We've accepted the finding.
There's no public hearing, so it's all set.
Exactly. I just want to make sure what we're doing. We've accepted the plan. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you all. We appreciate your efforts.
Thank you all, and we do appreciate your patience with getting this done.
Have a nice holiday.
Thanks. Yeah, and to you all, please have a safe and enjoyable holiday. Thank you very much.
Did you want to find out, excuse me, Chairman, did you want to find out the timing with Mark in terms of when the signing?
Thank you. I couldn't figure out who was talking. You're very small on my screen. Go ahead. I was going to go through that too. Yes. Go
I
ahead.
just wanted to go through the timing process here,
Yeah.
so Kyle can figure out the timing of picking up the signings of the new amended site plan approval.
Let me ask a question about that and see if we can put it. Mark, how soon can we have it put together?
Actually, since most of the notice of decision has already been prepared, we just have to add the findings in front of the conditions.
Yep.
It's pretty much ready to go after that, and a spell check, and Heather would be able to print it out tomorrow. So I believe it would be ready for signature tomorrow. If Heather, would that be acceptable?
Unless something happens to you between now and tomorrow at 8 o'clock, that should be fine.
Bear with me. How late is the town hall open tomorrow? I know it's a holiday.
Depending on how late this meeting goes, I'll probably only be in the office until 2 o'clock tomorrow.
Can we ask that you focus on this in the morning so we can?
Oh, I sure will. First thing.
Please do. And Mark, I'd be more than happy to be a second set of eyes on this for you during the day tomorrow. I do have a 10 o'clock appointment downtown, but I'll do my best to get through it before the end of the day. I'd like to see us get through this and get signatures for you sometime early next week.
It only requires your signature, Jeff, so I can have that done by probably as early as 8:30 tomorrow morning, so it's all up to you.
I'll be back in town between 11 and 12. Please give me a call on the phone. I'll be back in town between 11 and 12. It's prepared. I will come by and make sure it gets done.
Okay.
Thanks so much for your efforts. We appreciate it.
No, I want it off my desk too, but thank you very much. Thanks, guys. Again, thanks for asking. Have a wonderful and safe holiday all. And we'll be in touch and let you know when the document's available for you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Good night.
Good night. Oh, Cindy, can we bring Mr. Diskin back in, please? Good evening again, Ken. Next on our agenda, the town planner update.
Okay, the main item on the update is we just received a preliminary subdivision plan for 0 Washington Street, and you probably saw the emails going back and forth about what the 0 means. Essentially, it's a 22-acre parcel directly across from the Ayer Shirley Regional High School. I've been talking to the applicant, who is Joe Levine, and Beals and Associates are their engineer. And they submitted this preliminary plan just, I think, at the end of last week. And I forwarded it to the planning board as an electronic document, and we can get out, paper 11 by 17 copies to anybody who would like them. And we'll be taking this plan up starting on December 8th, so the next planning board meeting. According to the statute, the planning board has 45 days to act on a preliminary plan from the date of submittal, which takes us to the first meeting in January. So, that's something to get ready for. I haven't yet gone over it in a lot of detail. I've done a checklist to make sure that, they submitted everything on the plans that they needed to, and it is complete. But we'll be ready to have a good discussion with them about this.
Yes, Mr. Diskin, thank you.
Mark, could you just double check or back check or whatever you want to call it? The 45 days is 45 business days, and the date of the acceptance is the date that they sent it to the clerk and was stamped, or is it the date that we or your office accepts it as complete?
I
It's the
believe
date it's stamped in from the clerk.
right. Yeah.
And unfortunately, she stamped it in on Friday when I was out of the office.
Yep. But another factor, though, in this, and it's kind of confusing, we were operating under the Municipal Relief Act for many, many months. Governor Baker issued this back in the spring, when the COVID was running rampant in Massachusetts. And we just found out last week, without notice through our, town council, that is going away, and the last date of the Municipal Relief Act is December 1st, meaning that any plan that was submitted prior to that, the clock would start on December 1st. So I believe that we can use December 1st as a start date, given that there were a few dates under the Municipal Relief Act, just a handful of dates that we had before. I can clarify this with council. It only makes a difference of a few days, but it does afford us statutory provision to act by this January 12th. But I will check with council on that. If that's not the case, we might have to act on it a little bit earlier. Also, the Conservation Commission is reviewing the conservation analysis for the plan. And the administrator told me that they hope to submit that to the planning board in time for our meeting on December 8th. So that will inform our discussions with the applicant as to, where the lots can go. So some of the lots are crossing over into the wetland buffer zones. So that's something we'll need to pay close attention to. But when you review the plans, you'll see it's fairly straightforward as to what the high priority lands are. They're sort of in the back along the power lines. You have some really nice forests back there with the big trees and a big diversity of plant species. So it breaks out fairly straightforward in terms of, what's the best land to protect versus what is not quite as pristine.
Thank you. Yes, I did take a quick look at it, and had some questions about it, Mark. I think what we'll do is take those offline to discuss them. Just it's a procedural thing about the plans. I don't know if anybody else has had taken an opportunity to look at them yet, but it's.
I looked at.
I'm sorry.
I've looked at them, but I did want Mark to clarify the 45 days, if you could.
Exactly.
Is it
Yes.
business days or is it 45 calendar days?
Oh, yeah. Heather, do you know if
It's 45 calendar days. If it's
Yeah.
under 20 days, it ends up being business days. If it's over, it ends up being calendar days.
Yeah.
So that basically says any planning board only has a month and a half to act on a preliminary plan. basically.
Preliminary plan, correct. Which preliminary plans are basically approving the road and the lot numbers.
The road
And the
lot
road
numbers
is
and the
more or less
utilities.
the general shape.
Yeah.
Right, and it also, when I read the statute again on preliminary plans, it's the most important function is, is non-binding, but the planning board to give recommendations to the applicant as to what we'd like to see in the definitive plan. So, it's a good chance to haggle, so to speak, over the number of lots and where they are and the percentage of open space and all
Yeah.
that.
In some ways, for those of us who were on the planning board at the time, I think we all were, this is a little bit like the one that goes off Shaker Lane and back towards the golf club.
Yes, in
Yes,
fact,
Mr. Kretz. By the way, if I'm not looking at the computer, and you're trying to get
I'll
my
call
attention, speak up. Yeah, go ahead, Jonathan.
I will. Just a quick one. I wonder, Heather, would it be possible for me to get an 11 by 17 copy of the plans before our next meeting?
Sure can. And then it's in the
And
office tomorrow till at least 2, and then in all next week.
Okay, you don't have to rush it for tomorrow, but next week would be fine. Thank you.
Yeah, anytime. Just give me a call. Let me know when you're coming.
I will do that. Thank you, Heather.
Yeah, and
Mr. Chair.
yes, Mr. Diskin, go ahead.
So at the last meeting, I mentioned my concern, I still have it, that in the process of the OSRD, I thought we were supposed to kind of have this preview meeting before the, I guess it was before the final subdivision plan, but in my case, I think it's just as important to have it before the preliminary plan where we talk to conservation, we talk to the applicant, and we kind of agree before we see a plan, which I just saw. And we're going to look at that plan, and we're going to probably be disappointed based on what I saw. And we never had that conversation. So I was hoping that we learned from the first couple that we did that we'd have that conversation first.
Yeah, and I wanted to speak to that too. I found that they were, in a bit of a rush. Initially, they were nodding their heads when I said, yes, we'd like to do a pre-application meeting. Let's take this, steadily and not rush it. But they called and said, we're ready to submit. In fact, they were going to submit a definitive plan without even doing a preliminary. And I talked them out of that, and steered them in the direction of a preliminary plan, which they agreed to do 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So are they?
I think what we need to do is beef up the OSRD section of the bylaw so that we make the process mandatory. Because one thing that also, I'm not so pleased about is they submitted this prior to the Conservation Commission getting us their conservation recommendation, which is one of the key design elements that is described in the OSRD bylaw. So
yeah,
it's not a binding thing that they follow the process necessarily. If there's a way that we can do it so that it's more binding, I think that would be in our favor.
So I'm going to recommend that we do. I want to take it along 2 tracks, Mr. Diskin. Mr. Diskin, I do appreciate you bringing up your point again. I know it's something that we have discussed in the past, and I'm also concerned that we march at our pace and conservation marches at their pace, and many times we're in a situation where we've got to work out as it were the lines on the paper that match up and agree with conservation's findings. And I am surprised to see this because conservation, their site walk was 10 days ago. Am I correct? 2 weekends back, roughly?
Yeah, I think that's about
Yeah. So I would be interested to find out where they feel they are in the process also. But we're going to have to move along the process also. So I think it would be helpful to get the plans to the members of the board. A second track would be to discuss, again, excuse me, I'm looking away from the computer because I have two computers here and I can read one while I have the cameras on the other. So please don't think I'm not paying attention to what's going on and being rude. So the second track would be as the OSRD, as we begin to work with this OSRD, that we are more insistent upon a more of a linear path. This is a parallel path we're going to be on right now. And I would prefer, I think as Mr. Diskin would also, a more serial path. Take the steps along the way so that we don't have doing and redoing the work over and over again. And that's, I believe, what helped to draw out Shaken Mill Pond. We worked on that a long, long time. And I think we can learn from our past efforts. So with that being said, I look forward to seeing a full-size, a fuller, a larger set of these plans. They've got some interesting lots in here. I didn't, do we, is this going to, do we know if this, I didn't read it yet. Is this being proposed as a single family homes? Is this being proposed as a homeowners association?
They are.
As a condominium?
I believe they're single-family homes at this time. When I met with them, you know, when they initially expressed interest, I told them that you're not limited to single-family homes. You can do some duplexes. You could even do some multifamily. And I used, in fact, I shared the plan from Shaker Mill Pond with the duplexes with them.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing I saw was that even their OSRD lots meet the minimum lot size, which takes up a lot more land than if they had somewhat smaller lots. They'd be able to pull back from the wetland buffer zone more.
Yeah.
But that's all stuff that I'm going to address in my staff report.
Yeah. And the comment, yeah, and the comments, I'll just lead in the conversation I wanted to have with you, Mark. Is there pork chop lots in here? I haven't seen pork chop lots in years.
Well,
right.
Yes, Mr. Diskin.
It's going to become evident that missing that step that I talked about is going to lengthen this process substantially. And the way I understood it the last time that we talked about this with various engineers and whatnot was, and when we went to the meetings and conferences on the same topic, it was a way for all parties to save money and time. So right. when they come into us, and I'm going to object substantially to what I see, that's going to throw a wrench in the whole thing for them as well as for us. And, you know, it's fascinating actually that we didn't get this message across because that's why there were like 6 or 7 revisions on the Aho project, and they did cooperate, but it was pulling teeth, you know, on to try to change lots and change driveways. And you know, I know we're ahead of the game because the other members probably haven't concentrated on it, but maybe they have. I'm speaking out of turn. But it's certainly what I saw in a preliminary way. It's pushing it.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I think is better than the first 2 subdivisions is the Conservation Commission is very close to issuing their conservation recommendations.
Well, I happen to, excuse me, Mr. Chairman and Mr. Archibald.
Oh, please, I'm sorry. I am listening, and I do appreciate the informality.
No, I wanted to clarify something.
Go ahead.
Right on what Mark just said. I've been attending every conservation commission for obvious reasons, and I've attended all the meetings. So, and as a curiosity, I stay for the entire meeting. So, and long and short of it is, I was there. I attended the meeting last week and the ones prior when they did the presentation by their engineers regarding the ANRAD approval and the conservation analysis. And the document that we got is identical to what they got. And the long and the short of it is the recommendation we're going to get is going to basically comply with exactly what's in the red area, which is, yes, we all agree that's the most critical area. It's the top priority. but then we saw the preliminary plan where they built right in the red area, which it's quite fascinating when you think of it. So the recommendation we're going to get from them is going to be very easy. They voted on it the other night to basically send us the recommendation as it's shown on the conservation analysis, and that's protect that high priority location that's shown in red. And that's what I think you're going to find you're going to get, Mr. Ashenbo, when you see it.
Oh, yeah. And I plan to do a very thorough staff report identifying all these issues, which I'm sure you would have picked up on your own anyway, but I want to, keep us on the straight path, so to speak. So yes, I was trying to get them to slow down a little bit but it was, how do you stop somebody who's insistent on?
Yeah. No,
they have the
Well,
right.
they're going to find out real fast. They're going to discover it. I mean, that's the way it happens. Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Kratz.
Will we be, and this is to you and to Mark, of course, do we anticipate then that we'll be able to review the Conservation Commission report before we discuss the preliminary plan on December 8th?
No, it would be in time for December 8th. So we will.
It would be.
Yeah, because
Okay.
the Conservation Commission meets on December 3rd. And so if they
Okay.
vote to approve their recommendation, they will forward that to us in a
Okay, good.
So we'll have that in time for the December 8th meeting.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
And procedurally, we will hear from. We should hear from conservation prior to our next meeting, which will be helpful. But also, we should get their findings, and that should. It's going to impact the preliminary design. I'm assuming they're a quick look at the Oxbow's work, a quick look at the high priority lots. Unlike Mr. Diskin, I was not at the last meeting, but I have a feeling it's going to push on the boundaries that they've given us right now. To Heather's point, yes, we are being asked to look at lots without buildings on them. We're looking at roadway utility and grading plans at this point. So with that said, it'll be helpful to get the plans out, the copies of the plans out to people so they can look at it. If you have pork chop lots, boy, I haven't heard that in a while. I haven't seen those in an off. If you take a look, pork chop lots are small frontage that have a long leg on them that turn into a large rectangle somewhere else on the page. And it's a way of getting multiple properties and some frontage. But there's some frontage numbers here. If those numbers are correct, I'd have to double check our OSRD, but they don't make sense at first blush. So what else? Any other questions about this? And to talk about 0 Washington Street, Mr. Krantz sent an email this morning. We've been referring to Ayer Solar 2B as 0 Washington Street, and we've been referring to this project. Does this project have a name yet, Mark? I didn't notice it.
Panther Place.
Panther Place, or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, it does have a road named Panther. It has Panther Place and Claw Circle, I believe. So we're going to refer to this one as Panther Place for now. Okay, guys. Before the fire,
That has to do with the high school, right?
I am sure it does.
Gee. I guess you get an easy approval if you name it after the high school.
I'm so disappointed. I thought it was political.
Main Street was taken. It has the, before public safety and the post office get involved, they just use 0 as a placekeeper. So we have multiple properties that are referred to as 0 Washington Street, and it's confusing. Had this not been on Washington Street, had it been on Groton Harvard Road, it would have been 0 Groton Harvard Road, even though it's somewhere in the middle of the 70s. Okay? With that, that's it. Anything else?
Thank you.
It's a good question. I didn't know how it happened.
Yeah.
That's why we asked. Mark, anything else?
No, that's that plan will keep me busy next week, so I can get a good staff report out.
Okay. Moving on to it. Excuse me. Not COVID, guys. I swallowed a piece of ice. Moving on to next on our agenda, administrative announcements, old business. I got some. Who else has got something to talk about in old business at this point? Hey, Mark, we discussed this briefly last meeting, and I want to double check. We talked about the all-town traffic study.
Right.
Did we send a letter off to them telling them that we received it?
Thanks for the thanks for the reminder.
We've been working on other things this week. I know you and I have been in contact about a bunch of things, and that was on my list. Okay.
I'm writing it down. So a letter to the people that prepared the study.
Yes.
Yes.
And I've also noticed that farther down Harvard Road, or Ayer Road in Harvard, as you leave town on the right, the site work has started up again down there. And I can't remember the name of that. It's not, I can't remember the name of that project, but they seem to be in some activity. There is a trailer on the space. There is some grading equipment on the space, and they've been doing some more work in there.
Curly Circle?
Could be, thank you. I wanted to update you all on something that I've been involved with. Excuse me. I have a microphone next to my face. I don't want to cough into it if I can avoid it. I've been participating in a group called Landline. And this is a group of towns that are mostly, it includes Ayer, Harvard, and pretty much everything going in towards Route 128. And what they're doing is putting together, and I'll have a more formal presentation, but they're putting together a greenway that ties together our non-automotive infrastructure. Cycling, bicycling, walking, things like that. Mark Wetzel from DPW has been involved. He actually asked for somebody from the planning board. Of course, he asked the guy who rides a bicycle. So, I got involved. Turns out there's a handful of people involved in it from the other communities, Concord, Groton, Acton, who have all been people I've worked with on different things over the years. It's an all-volunteer group. MRPC is overlooking it. The Magic Group's overlooking it. I don't really know what these acronyms mean. I'm sure Mark could help me with it. But bottom line is looking at how our towns can be tied together with infrastructure that supports non-automotive traffic, making our roads safer and making them multi-use. That's pretty much where we stand. I will, at some point, probably, our next meeting's not for 6 or 8 weeks. After our next meeting, I'll probably have a better presentation on where the roads are that we're talking about. There will be a homogeneous signage. There will be, there's an economic development piece to it. And really, it's one of these things where we're seeing more and more people going outdoors and recreating, and this is just happens to fall in at this time. And there's money out there for grants to get this all together, so there's been a group working on it. I started going to the meetings in June. Our third meeting since June was just the other day, and it really is ramping up and moving forward. And I'll have more about that in the future. Anybody else have anything? Old business, new
I just have a
business?
question for the
Yeah,
chair.
go ahead. Yes.
So Jeff, with the greenway you described sounds like it's alternative transportation use for humans. This is not the same as what we heard from conservation months ago about the ideal of having contiguous green spaces for the movement of animals. This is this is a totally different thing. I just want to clarify.
Yes, and you know what? What's interesting is if you think about it as being lanes used by non-motorized vehicles.
Yeah.
Humans, non-humans. Okay.
Got it.
I lived in Belmont. We had coyotes. People finally
Yep.
figured out we got train tracks. The coyotes, they move along train tracks, they move along rivers. So really what it comes down
Bears
to is
too.
a lot of our streets out here, we all drive around here, we all see lots of cyclists. You got to be a professional cyclist to live on the streets we have. They're so narrow and the shoulders are so bad. As we go through the process of rebuilding our roads, which is a multi-decade process, putting in place an alternative I don't want to call it an alternative. I want to call it a complementary use of the roads. Makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Be it
Mhm.
walking, look at the struggles we had with Alltown trying to put a sidewalk around the corner at the Rotary on a road we don't own. That still wouldn't be there if we were waiting for this for the Commonwealth to do the work. So DOT is involved. As I said, MRPC is involved. We sit outside of MRPC. The line is the eastern border of Ayer, but we're critical. The Nashua River Rail Trail is in our town. Harvard's doing work. They've got they're really, really, really early in the process with some tip work on improving 110 and 111. They see that as their next, kind of the next ray of development coming out of Harvard Center. 110, 111 is a horrible place to be doing anything but drive a car. Whether or not that'll be the right place or not, I think there's a better way. I think Shaker Lane works really well. I think Old Littleton Road works really, really well. There's other ways to get to skin the cat, if you will, and that's what we're working on. And when they get acceptance through the land, we're changing our name to the Neshoba Regional. I've forgotten what the official name is, but it's going to be Neshoba Regional something. And it really is, I think it's a really good. If I put my views on cycling aside and my views on car traffic aside, I think it's a great way to create safe areas for recreation and transportation that doesn't include a car on the roads we have. And it'll put in place a structure for future roads being built. So that's what's been going on with that. And boy, those meetings can be long. We try to get them done in an hour and a half, but it's just no way. But we now have formal subgroups. We're writing some grants and doing some other things. So I'll have a more detailed report, and I'll bring some pictures, show and tell, for you all in the future, so you can see what's happening. And the other piece of it is this: Ayer's not the stopping point. We're just one more link in the chain, because you may not be aware of it, but there is a Central Mass Rail Trail going through Hudson. Goes all the way from Northampton, Massachusetts to Waltham. I've ridden most of it. I've ridden all but about 8 or 10% of it. It exists. It's already there. It runs under right-of-ways on power lines and stuff like that. A lot of it's paved at this point. So there will be a way to go, get on your bike, put on your sneakers, and go from Waltham to Amherst. And just crossing roads every now and again. And eventually there'll be tunnels and bridges. So if you drive into Route 2, you've seen the work just before the Rotary, that's going to be an overpass.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, that's the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail. It will connect into this. So we will have a substantial and almost equal secondary transportation system. So with that being said, talked more about it than I wanted to, but that's in our eyes. And as we look at places like Panther Place needs to connect to other parts of our community, not by driving out and taking a right or a left on Washington Street. How can they connect in with other ways? So part of the conversation I hope to have. Anything else in the way of old and new business? Cool. Go ahead, Mr. Yes.
Oh, Jonathan?
No, Ken. No, it's you.
As we're probably all aware, the town won that $3.1 million grant for the improvement on West Main Street, and I'm sure the chairman wanted to talk about that, but maybe he didn't.
I congratulated him. Please do, Ken. I forgot I congratulated Alan already, and I moved on.
I thought the only thing that I was fascinated by was that I'd like to get a copy of the drawings for the planning board to look at, because I think that's the kind of thing we want to see, those kinds of construction details, to become more familiar with those kinds of requirements, because I'm sure they're going to include granite curves and maybe with the type of sidewalk material, just because it's generally a good exercise, for us on the planning board to know the kinds of specifications they're going to use for that kind of work.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And to be honest with you, I was so excited when that happened that I actually reached out to Alan right away. and told him that, you know, he's a superstar for what he's done. I don't know if you all saw this, but it was on the town. It was on the town website and Facebook group also. And somebody from Nashua said, "Alan, we miss you. Why can't you come back and do it here?"
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, he's missed in his other communities. So I want to keep him here if we can. Thank you very much, Ken. Anything else, Jonathan? With that, do you have anything, or are you just getting my attention for that? Okay, great. Next on the list is the approve the meeting minutes from the October 27th meeting. I want to thank you very much, Heather, for putting up with my hand scratching on that, and I thank the patience of the board. Did you all get a chance to take a look at those minutes?
Yes.
I would accept a
I
motion.
make a motion to approve the Air Planning Board meeting minutes from October 27th, 2020.
Thank you. Have a second, please.
Seconded.
Thank you. Moved by Mr. Grant, seconded by Ms. Murray. Any discussion? Hearing none, I will go by the, Mr. King, your first box on my screen. How do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Krantz.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Diskin.
I think I might have to recuse because this, most of the data is about the project I had to recuse myself from. Most
Thank
of the
you.
minutes.
Thank you. And Ms. Murray.
Aye.
Chairman votes aye, accepted with 4 aye votes and 1
Abstain.
abstain.
Abstention.
Yeah, I would go with an abstention, not a recusal. Thank you very much. Our next meeting is December 8th. Mark and Heather, if you can get me a copy of that, or please give me a call. I literally am going to be, I have an appointment. I probably won't be back in town until closer to 1 o'clock. I've got a 10 o'clock appointment. I have an 8 o'clock in Framingham at 10, my dentist, and then I've got to drop some stuff off in Cambridge. So I'll be shooting back here around 1 o'clock or so. I'm happy to come by and sign that document if you think it's correct at that point. So we can
Yeah,
move that
I'll have
forward.
it done. So I get in the office right at 8 o'clock. I'll have it
Yeah.
done first thing. Should be done by 8:30. I can
Great.
email it to you. Like I said, I will be probably leaving town hall around 2 o'clock tomorrow. So if you're not going to be back in time, you can always drop it off, and then Kyle can get it first thing on Monday.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I will be nowhere near a computer from between 7 and 1 o'clock tomorrow.
Oh,
So
that must be nice.
no, yeah, I'll be in the dentist chair, Heather. It's just as much fun. I'll give a call when I'm moving around. I'll call the office like I normally do from the car.
Okay.
That loud noise in the background is my poorly insulated car, sound insulated car. And we'll get copies if you want to, Heather. If you want to put 11 by 17 copies together in a set, I'll pick them up.
Oh, they're all set.
Good.
That's
I'll
what the
pick them up
email up for.
tomorrow.
I have
Great.
everything all set. It's already in the office.
Oh,
And I put the
excellent.
email up this afternoon saying you want to come pick it up because it's already
Yeah.
all done.
Put them in an
Thank you.
envelope
I asked the applicant
Yeah.
for those just in case anybody. I'm so used to having packets for you guys that I just
Yeah.
keep getting them anyway.
But why don't you have those available for me to pick up tomorrow also, and I'll see that
Okay.
they get distributed.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll ride my bike around town on the holiday. Thank you. We almost hit an hour, guys. Not bad. Hopefully we'll get some information about 14 Washington Street before the 8th. And with that, if there's no other business from anybody, I will love to, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Krantz. It's been moved. Do we have a second?
Seconded.
Thank you, Ms. Murray. Moved and seconded to adjourn. Good night, all. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Please be
You too,
safe and be
everyone.
well. Thanks, all.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.